If you're new to side-by-sides, the YXZ1000R's 5-speed fully manual or electronic paddle shift equipped sport shift models offer the unique ability to bang through the gears, dump the clutch for hole shots, or pick the best gear for the situation you're driving in. If you've looked past the YXZ in the past, believing that it was only suited for wide open spaces or short course racing, Yamaha has turned the YXZ into a very capable East Coast trail cruiser, while improving its performance in the areas it already excelled in. Since the machine debuted in 2016, we've spent days testing it in the Glamis sand dunes and nearby Superstition Mountains. With lots of sport ATV experience under their belts, our drivers got along well with the 5-speed manual shift transmission. With its taller gearing, many less experienced drivers were burning through clutches on technical low-speed trails, and upsizing from the stock 27-inch tires made things even more difficult. In 2017, Yamaha added the Sport Shift model to their lineup, removing the manual clutch and adding electronic paddle shifters. The system intelligently shifted down at lower speeds, and slid the clutch when needed at low speeds in first gear, although first gear was still rather tall for extremely slow technical terrain, or when adding larger tires. All years of the YXZ respond very well to a full aftermarket exhaust upgrade, when paired with a properly tuned fuel controller. Along with boosting horsepower and torque throughout the RPM range, HMF's lighter weight performance series, or full stainless steel Titan series, add around 10 peak horsepower and 10 foot-pounds of torque low in the RPMs, where the YXZ needs it most. The release of the Special Edition model in 2017 added Fox Podium X2 shocks, with their internal bypass and anti-bottoming technology, dual-rate springs with adjustable crossovers, plus high and low speed compression, and high and low speed rebound damping adjustments. The X2 shocks offered a plusher ride over smaller bumps, were less harsh on big hits, and helped settle the back end slightly in high-speed whoops. For 2019, Yamaha took what they learned through racing and customer feedback, releasing a significantly updated YXZ to better meet the demands of sports side-by-side enthusiasts from the wooded trails of the East Coast to the deserts found out west. To prove it, Yamaha invited members of the media to 2 ride events. First, on the wooded trails of the Stony Lonesome OHV Park in Bremen, Alabama. Then, in the desert of Johnson Valley in Southern California, home of the notoriously grueling King of the Hammers. UTV On Demand's review of the 2019 Yamaha YXZ1000R was made possible by Maxima side-by-side engine oil, an ester-based full synthetic oil blended with a unique balance of surface-active, anti-wear, and extreme pressure additives to ensure smooth, trouble-free operation under extended periods of use. Lower operating temperatures increase horsepower and keep your engine running clean with Maxima side-by-side synthetic oil, the only oil formulated specifically for your high-performance UTV. Extreme ground clearance, American-made 4130 chromoly construction for lightweight and superior durability. Optimized geometry for improved handling. National championship winning extreme ground clearance A-arms and radius rods from Texeratech. Available for today's top high-performance UTVs. For 2019, Yamaha is still offering both sport shift and manual shift versions of the YXZ. The SC versions come with beadlock wheels, painted bodywork, color-matched embroidered seats, rear view mirrors, UHMW rear skid plate, rear shock protectors, and rear A-arm guards. The Special Edition model's Fox RC2 shocks also received an upgrade from progressively wound single springs to a dual-rate spring setup with adjustable crossovers. Special Edition Sport Shift models also receive a Special Edition shifter, plus aluminum brake and gas pedals. The Sport Shift variants feature an even more decked-out pearl white version, featuring a sun top, interior LED lighting, auxiliary LED light pods in the redesigned front center, and most significantly, an upgrade to Fox's more sophisticated Podium X2 shocks. With our testing focusing on the Yamaha Blue Special Edition Sport Shift models, the roof featured on our car was a welcomed Yamaha accessory add-on. The 998cc liquid-cooled double overhead cam inline 3-cylinder engine's top end hasn't changed for 2019. The chassis' basic design and suspension travel numbers also remain unchanged, with 16.2 inches up front and 17 inches out back. Although nearly every system on the car has received some sort of revision, many of which are race-inspired. The transformation began with a switch from 27-inch to 29/8/14 front and 29/11/14 rear Maxxis Bighorn tires. Yamaha is offering slightly more specialized 30-inch accessory tires from EFX and wheels from KMC, setting up your machine with the same size wheel and tire all the way around. We think this is something Yamaha should be doing from the factory. The wheel bolt pattern size has been increased by 30% for 2019, improving wheel and hub strength with the larger tires. Additionally, the double angular contact front wheel bearings have been increased in size from 55 to 62 millimeters. The brakes have been beefed up with 10 millimeter larger rotors up front. Brake piston size has been increased by 2 millimeters front, 3 millimeters rear, and the master cylinder size has increased from 17.5 to 19 millimeters. Stainless steel braided brake lines are new for 2019. Power steering has been optimized to work with taller 29 to 30-inch tires. Comparing the 2018 and 2019 shocks, Yamaha softened the initial and final spring rates, accompanied by an increase in spring preload. Internally, the shocks feature new higher flow pistons, along with new valving that increases compression and decreases rebound damping. Yamaha wanted to improve low-speed comfort without increasing body roll, along with providing a more balanced ride in high-speed whoops. The new suspension settings have the YXZ riding lower in its travel. In spite of the taller tires, for 2019 the car has only been raised 0.3 of an inch to 13.2 inches of ground clearance. The sway bar length has been shortened by 10 millimeters to 782 millimeters, reducing the angle on the sway bar links for improved durability. The cast aluminum knuckles used at the end of the rear control arms are now used across the entire YXZ lineup, reducing unsprung weight by 4.4 pounds per side. To more easily turn those larger tires, gearing has been lowered by 24% in first gear and 7% in second through fifth. With a 7% increase in tire size, first gear is effectively around 17% lower, with second through fifth remaining roughly the same as 2018. The new gear ratios are accompanied by SportShift MCU Logic version 2.0. The new programming is said to result in improved clutch engagement and 50% less half clutch during downshifting for improved engine braking. A lower first gear means less demand on the SportShift system, needing to half clutch to maintain momentum, allowing for 40% less clutch disengagement at slow speeds. Dynamic clutch engagement has also been added to reverse for 2019. The revised gear ratios and new MCU logic are said to result in a whopping 230% increase in clutch durability. The transmission's rear output shaft seal and gear case input dust cover have also been updated. Formerly an accessory add-on, the YXZ now comes standard with Yamaha's turbo rods. These upgraded connecting rods are rated to handle upwards of 200 horsepower. They should make stock or mildly modified engines even more robust, while cutting 16.5 hours of installation time for owners looking to build a much higher horsepower race motor. Relocating the radiator in the bed helps prevent it from becoming clogged with debris, while providing easier access for cleaning. The new radiator is 32% larger, with its twin fans providing a claimed 300% increase in airflow. A triple intake system is designed to allow plenty of airflow to the radiator, even with accessories installed that close off airflow through the cabin. Relocating the radiator is also said to reduce cabin temperature by 14% at the driver's back and 31% at the center console. With the addition of the radiator, the bed is now 3/4 of an inch wider with an 11-inch reduction in depth. It retains its 300-pound capacity with 4 welded-on tie-down hooks, and now allows for the installation of Yamaha's accessory tire carrier or bed box without modification. While some will complain about the loss in cargo space, we believe Yamaha is simply compromising less when it comes to building a true performance machine. Up front, the radiator was replaced with a compartment for a second accessory battery. Dual battery isolation means that accessories won't drain the start battery. A smart voltage regulator makes sure that the start battery charges before the accessory battery. The roll cage's profile has been flattened, lowering the vehicle's overall height by 2.4 inches. The new shape provides 3.6 degrees of additional sightline up top, making it easier to see up steep hills, something we took issue with on previous models. The new design is also said to make getting in and out easier. Vehicle dimensions remain pretty similar, with a 64-inch width and 90.5-inch wheelbase. Overall length is 1.1 inches longer at 123.9 inches. Larger tires, plus all of the other updates, have added up to a small 11-pound increase in wet weight at 1,523 pounds. Yamaha is really taking factory accessorizing to the next level, offering nearly everything you could ask for, including the basics, like wheel and tire packages, tire carriers, and accessory lighting. Other electronic upgrades include audio systems and Yamaha's recently introduced Adventure Pro, which is not only a fully functional GPS and Android tablet, it also offers vehicle integration, including dashboard readings, temperature, vehicle warnings, and more. Windshields and cabin closures add comfort year-round. Yamaha's even offering nearly every engine upgrade needed to turn the YXZ into a competitive close-course racer or hill shooter. For those interested in even greater low-speed performance, especially with tires over 30 inches, Yamaha's optional torque assist gearing reduces first gear by over 46%, with a 23% reduction in second through fifth. The YXZ launches more quickly out of the hole than in 2018, thanks to its lower first gear. Acceleration in second through fifth is virtually identical to last year, with Yamaha's changes in gearing having seemingly perfectly compensated for the taller tires and their added rotating mass. Whether you're shifting up through the gears under power or rapidly downshifting scrubbing off speed, shifting is quicker and smoother in either direction. Power delivery is identical to previous years, although the new gear ratios and sport shift settings make the YXZ's engine far more effective for drivers of all skill levels at lower speeds. The engine is pretty docile in the first two-thirds of the RPM range. At low RPMs, it's never felt like a quitter, but now with a lower first gear, the engine can crawl along notably more slowly right off idle. The sports shift system now half-clutches less often to maintain momentum at slow speeds, and when it does, the process is notably smoother. Turning 29 or 30-inch tires, most typical trail drivers should be able to get along splendidly with the updated YXZ at low speeds. Rumored to produce 112 horsepower, the engine holds back most of its power early on, delivering the goods starting at around 7,000 RPMs, then ripping hard until redline at 10,500 RPMs. The distinct yet manageable high RPM hit, top-end focused power delivery, and manual shift transmission provide a thrilling and unique race car-like experience that keeps the driver engaged. It's a blast driving hot into corners, downshifting, then ripping out of turns. With the revised gear ratios, there is of course a larger gap between first and second gears, which can easily be bridged in most situations by simply revving it out a little further in first. While we would still like to see a bit more horsepower lower in the RPMs, the taller tires and lower gear ratios have turned the YXZ into a machine that most trail riders should enjoy. Perhaps even more dramatic than the engine's enhanced usability is the improvement in suspension performance. The dual 8 spring-equipped Fox RC2 shocks come set up with a firm yet forgiving ride. For small bumps that haven't disappeared from the taller tires rolling over them, back off the compression damping settings, and the ride becomes instantly more compliant for long casual drives. At mid to high speeds, the shocks seem pretty dialed out of the box. Medium-sized hits disappear, and big hits rarely find the limits of the travel. Big hits seem less harsh, and the car feels more composed on recovery. The one glaring issue from years past was an unbalanced ride in high speed, unevenly spaced whoops. The front end was brilliant, but the back end had a tendency to buck. For 2019, the YXZ's performance in high-speed whoops has been smoothed out quite a bit, thanks to its updated shocks and larger tires helping fill in the terrain. Up front, suspension performance remains brilliant, and now the back end does a much better job of keeping up. Under power, the rear shocks now do a much better job at keeping the tires tracking with the terrain. The YXZ remains very stable and predictable in corners. In spite of its taller tires, its center of gravity seems very close to where it was in 2018. Recalibrated for the larger tires, the power steering provides the right amount of assist at any speed, and all of the damping we could ask for from impacts with trail jump. We can't find much fault with the new Maxxis Bighorn tires. Their tread design is one of the very best on the market for a multi-condition East Coast tire. They also perform decently in the drier conditions found out west. The taller tires allow the YXZ to crawl up and over obstacles more easily, and add a bit more ground clearance to the underside of the rear A-arms, which are susceptible to dragging in deep ruts. It says something about the tires that we never needed to engage front differential lock, but it's definitely worth noting that Yamaha offers complete control over the drivetrain, with selectable 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive with front differential lock. Updates to the brakes have resulted in more power and better feel. Engine braking at low speeds has also been enhanced thanks to its lower first gear. In conclusion, Yamaha has packed a lot more versatile performance into the 2019 YXZ1000R. We love that nearly every update to the car was focused on making it even more of a no-compromise pure sport machine with improved durability. It's astonishing that this many improvements was accompanied with an $800 reduction in the Sport Shift base model's MSRP. We would have preferred paying a little more and keeping the roof as standard equipment, but for this much savings, we don't mind picking one up from the dealer. While we were already fans, the Yamaha YXZ1000R is our pick as the most improved sports side-by-side of 2019. For more information on the 2019 Yamaha YXZ1000R and their full line of side-by-sides and ATVs, log on to YamahaMotorsports.com.